Hello student. Now today we are going to discuss the element of mind. This is the part of Freud's psychoanalytic theory. We have discussed the level of consciousness in previous video. So let's discuss the element of minds. Freud explained the human mind using three parts: the id, ego and superego. So these Freud's theory explain these primary structural elements of personality. Okay, these are the three elements: id, ego, and superego, which determines our actions and behavior. So to understand why people act the way they do, we need to look at these three levels or three elements. Okay, the first is id. id id प्रिंसिपल है, id का प्रिंसिपल है इंस्टिंक्ट. Instinct means immediate gratification. Okay, the id is the part of our mind that acts on basic urge, needs and desires without thinking. A newborn baby's personality is all id. So मीन्स न्यू बॉर्न बेबी होता है जो हर वक्त जिद करता रहता है, आई वॉन्ट दिस, आई वॉन्ट दिस. सो उसका ईद प्रिंसिपल हमेशा और एलिमेंट एक्टिव रहता है. द ईद थिंग्स in a very simple and fantasy based way without any logical or understanding of what's real. It focused only on getting what it wants right away without caring about the consequences. So it's basically work on a pleasure principle and try to avoid pain. So it is not concerned with reality. The id operate on the pleasure principle, that every unconscious wishful impulse should be satisfied immediately regardless of the consequences. Okay, so this id is instinct principle or pleasure principle, work on the pleasure principle. Then second is ego. Ego work on reality principle. Freud's ego, this ego is different from the English ego. Okay, the Freud's ego is the rational part of the mind that helps balance the desire of the id and moral rules of the superego. So ego try to make a balance between the id and superego. We will discuss the superego in next slide. It mainly works in the conscious part of the mind, meaning it's what we are aware of when we think about ourselves and how we act around others. The ego develops to help us deal with the real world, balancing the id's unrealistic desires. So id always uh, जिद कर रहा है, I want this, I want that, and ego trying to balance that demand which id make. Okay, it makes decision based on the reason. So reality के बारे में सोच के ego try to take a reason decision. Sorry, the ego start to form during infancy. Its job is to find ways to satisfy the id's want in a safe and social acceptable way. So id only demanding element है and ego try to fulfill that demand in safe and socially acceptable way. Okay, the ego operate on the reality principle. Reality principle as it operate in both the conscious and unconscious mind. So it grows out of ease and seek to satisfy an individual's instinctual needs in accordance with reality. So hence its work on reality principle. So ego works on reality principle. Now the third element is superego. Superego based on the morality principle. The superego is the part of mind that holds the values and moral we are learned from our parents and society. It develops in early childhood and makes sure we follow these more moral rules. The superego works on the morality principle, encouraging us to act in responsible and acceptable way in society. Its main job is to control the id urge, especially the ones society doesn't allow, like those related to sex, aggressions. Okay, so superego is just like a moral behavior, morality. Is thinking about society, social norms, and uh, it helps to fulfill the ego desire also, or its work on the morality principle. The most mature element of the personality is a superego. This work on moral principle. The superego tells the id and ego whether the gratification is practical or a particular instinct in ethical or not. So सुपर ईगो टेल द ईगो एंड ईद की जो डिमांड है या जो ग्रेटिफिकेशन है वो इथिकल है और नहीं है, ये बताने में सुपर ईगो हेल्प करता है. In it represents social rights or wrong, good or bad. Okay, so super ego help us to decide or take a decision in a right way. So either work on instinct principle, work on instinct principle, ego work on reality principle, and super ego work on morality principle. So these three element कहाँ पर है? It's in our mind. Sometimes we behave through the instinct behavior, sometimes we behave through the ego element, sometimes we behave or take a decision through the superego element. Okay, so ईद की जो जिद है उसको ईगो रियलिटी में सोचता है कि वो फुलफिल हो सकती है कि नहीं, उसके साथ सुपर ईगो हेल्प करता है कि सोशली वो एक्सेप्टेबल है या नहीं. सो दीज थ्री एलिमेंट इन आवर माइंड, so Freud call it element of our personality. Hope you understand these three elements. Thank you.